All right, guys, that was a good way to welcome you to the call there. We'll get started here in just a second. Never really done this before, so it's going to take me just a second to get organized, but I think we're looking good. Guys, I hope everybody's having a good Saturday morning. We'll get started actually right now. I think we're good. So, hey guys, welcome. This is Scott Brewster, and no, you are not seeing me, but I am doing a live event with something that I'm extremely excited about. And hey, before I get started, guys, I want to ask you if you don't mind giving me some kind of indication that the sound's okay, and we'll get started as soon as I see an indication that it sounds okay. Hey, Emily, how are you? It's good to see you. We'll get started in just a second. Hey, Don. If somebody will just give me a thumbs up, I'll get rolling. I believe the sound's fine, but I've never done this before, so I'm waiting on an indication of some sort. There we go. All right. Well, guys, let's get started. I want to apologize. I know there's a little background noise in the background. It'll be gone in just a second. But I'm going to move as fast as I can through these screens. But it's real important that you guys understand what is happening here, and really just as important, what is not happening here. If your friend has shared this with you, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, here comes another sales thing. And you know, it's absolutely polar opposite from another sales thing. What you see is introducing the RNetwork. It's the latest network. It's the last network you'll ever have to build. And when you hear network, there might be some negative things come to mind, you know, multi-level marketing or pyramid schemes and that kind of stuff. So remove all of that kind of negative baggage from your brain for just a second. And I want you to think about how interesting it would be to simply go to your friend and save them money, right? This past week, we had back to school expenses, and I've got, you know, several kids, multiple kids, and there's backpacks, and there's school supplies, and there's college tuitions, and sometimes life can be overwhelmingly difficult financially. You know, and it's not just you, and it's not just me, and it's not just people you love, but it's people around the world that struggle day to day to day. Now, the RNetwork has a vision of building a global network of people that save more money than they spend. They save more money than they spend. Now, so you're not going to be going to your friend or your family or your mother or your brother and saying, hey, look at buying this lotion or potion or cream. No. You're going to them to give them an opportunity to save money. And not only save money, but I'll tell you, this coming week, guys, I just had all my back to school expenses last week, and we're going to be really thrifty this week. And, you know, I know for a 100% fact this coming week, I'm going to save about $200 feeding my family over the next 7-8 days. I know for a fact. So am I interested in what the RNetwork is doing for me personally? Absolutely. But am I interested in seeing how it's going to evolve around the world and impact people in Australia and in Europe and in Africa and in Asia and in the States, of course, and in Canada and Mexico and South America? Yes, I'm fascinated by watching this thing grow all around the world. Now, I'm going to end the kind of slideshow here in just a minute by showing you a way where you can help other people around the world, and not only help them save money, but the RNetwork is going to give you an opportunity to create an income for your family simply by helping other people. That's it. That's it. And I'll tell you the end of the book, and I'll show you how it's going to get there in a second, but your mouth's going to drop open when I tell you this. But in 2020, I fully expect, by what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and how I'm seeing this thing grow, I fully expect to earn income thousands of times a day while people save money around the world. Let me say that sentence again. I expect in 2020 that my family will earn income thousands of times a day as people save money around the world. That's how important and that's how impactful what we have here is. All right, so don't forget to share this video, and let's move on. I say let's move on, and then my clicker's not moving me on, but there we go. Okay, so guys, here's a little snapshot of the company. It's in Provo, Utah. You know, and it says join a network of dreamers and connecting with others all over the world. And you know, we've seen several live events come from our corporate headquarters in Provo, Utah, and we'll see many more. Gotten to know the founders a little bit, and the leaders of the company are just staggering. And this is just a shot of the network. Our founder is a gentleman named Richard Smith. And, I really became intrigued by this guy as you see his 3 fundamental goals: find out where the world is going and get there first, right? So if you think about the iPhone, you think about, digital cable or, cell phones, any technology that you can think of in your lifetime, and you wished you had gotten out in front of that. In other words, what would have happened if you were one of the first developers of the iPhone or digital technology or cell phones? So many different technologies. Had you gotten out in front and understood where the world was going and gotten there first, you could have done very well. And the core principle of what we're doing here is we're giving you an opportunity to make more money than you spend, right? Normally, when you start a business or you enter into an endeavor like this, there's some upfront costs that you have to overcome. Here, you spend a couple of bucks to get in. That afternoon, you're already ahead. And I'll show you how that happens here in just a minute. And then lose yourself in the betterment of others. What better way to build a global business than helping people around the globe, right? And if you lose yourself trying to help other people improve their lives, pretty soon you're going to look up and you will have had a really interesting run. So that's what he means when he says the RNetwork is the last network you'll ever have to build, because guys, we're not talking about products that people stop buying and then you have to go out and do something else, and then you do this product and they stop buying that. Here, you're just helping people save money. And so here are some of the other leadership, and I don't want to spend a lot of time here. You can come back and look at this later at your own leisure, but Roger Taylor and Trent Walker and Richard Smith and Kevin and Troy, what you're going to see here is looks like collectively, more than a century of experience. And you see, looking through here, you see things that are quite impressive, like NASCAR and Google. And these guys really have been around the block and done incredible things. I'm so excited about the leadership and the creators of what we have here. So let's move on, but you can come back and look at that slide here as you want to later. Here are some countries that we're already open in. And look, I want you to understand something on this slide. I, over the years, have been involved in the distribution of and the introduction of different kinds of products. And the thing about a product, guys, is if you have a lotion or potion or cream or a pill or something, it has to be approved for consumption as it moves around the world. So if you want to get into Estonia, you have to have the Estonian government approve you. If you want to get into Indonesia, the same thing. Paraguay, the same thing. Slovakia, the same thing. What is fascinating about this opportunity is we, like literally, not literally, but figuratively, overnight, very quickly, in the first couple of months, we were in 80 plus countries. Now, why is that? And I see that there's a typo up there. I need to change that. Countries should be plural and not possessive. That's going to bug me. But anyway, we're in 80 plus countries already. And the reason why is, guys, it's just a technology. It's an app. It's anywhere where there's banking and where people can use cards at the ATM, our company can be there. And we'll talk more about that in a second. But our product is not a consumable product that has to be approved and shipped and that kind of thing. So we can move around the world very quickly and very efficiently. So if you know anybody anywhere around the world that wants to save money, you are at the right place. Let's say that again. If you know anybody anywhere in the world that ever wants to save money, you've come to an interesting place to investigate. All right, now, one thing that I've learned over the last month is, I hope you see in the next few minutes, the power is in the network. You see these 5 people looking down at their cell phones? I challenge you to go any place today and look around any room, anywhere, any place you're watching this in the world, and find me 20% of the population that is not looking down at their cell phones, right? If you could build a network of people around the world that were moving information with this technology you see these people using right here, pretty simple stuff, the power is in the network that we're building. And why I say that here on this slide is, I think a lot of people are really excited about the Rev card, and a lot of people are really excited. I had a friend of mine, one of the leaders of the company, literally saved $5,000 yesterday because he's in the RNetwork and he could purchase a car. We'll talk more about that in a second. But he saved $5,000 yesterday. Do you think he's excited? Absolutely. Do you think the person buying gift cards in a minute, now we'll go over that, you think they're excited? Absolutely. What about this Rev card thing everybody talks about? Absolutely. Those things are exciting, but those things are not the book, they're chapters. The power is in the network. And as the network grows around the world, not just this year, but the next year and the years to follow, you're going to see the power is in the network that you can build right now. And we're going to talk about the tools to get that done. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Rev card. What you're looking at here, guys, is cutting edge technology that's coming out in January of 2020. And I want you to understand what you're looking at here. This card is going to be the size and the dimension of a normal credit card. Now, let me see what the next, yeah, that's a better slide. It's going to be the size and the dimension of a normal credit card. And a lot of people are excited about this. And let me try to share with you why. The Rev card is going to be, I think, we tell our kids that our phones used to be connected to the walls, right? And we had a long line and we had to walk around the room with our phone connected to the wall. Our kids are probably thinking, why would a phone ever have to be on a wall, right? They can't conceive of not being able to make a phone call from the car. I'm 49, I don't know about you, but most of us can remember, of course, the evolution of the cellular technology. Now, I think what we're looking at here, years from now, a kid's going to look at their dad and say, I'm confused. Why did you ever have more than one card in your wallet? Because if you think about it, why would you ever need more than one card in your wallet? What you're looking at here is the ability to put your credit cards and your debit cards and your loyalty cards, reward cards, anything with a magnetic strip can go onto this one card. Now, when I saw that, I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, but I need to understand more about what that means to me. So I got to thinking about it more, and the first thing that hit me is I need to make sure that it's easy to use. And if everything's going to be on one card, it has to be very, very secure. So what you've got here is, you see on the right, the picture, you can barely make it out, but there's a thumbprint on that little center square right there. So that thumbprint activates your card. If someone doesn't have your thumb, they're not going to be able to activate your card. This card also has biometric, not in addition to the biometric security finger reader, it also has a OLED touch screen like your cell phone, and you can swipe and you can go from card to card and choose different cards in that one card. So if you're at Starbucks and they say, hey, do you have a loyalty card? You can say, sure, hold on, swipe, swipe, swipe. You choose it, it's your Starbucks loyalty card. And then they say, okay, well, it'll be $7 for your mocha Java chip frappuccino or whatever. Well, you get your card back, you swipe it over to your credit card or your debit card, and you hand it back to them. That one card is all you ever need anymore. Now, that was amazing. And then when I started thinking about the technology and the security features, the thumbprint, we've got a microphone and a speaker and a GPS in this card. If you leave it, you can see over there on the right under money transfer from card to card, you can see if misplaced, the Rev card notifies you. So if you walk away a certain distance from your card, it's paired with your cell phone, right? So when you walk away a certain distance, the card is going to call your cell phone and say, hey, you left me here, right? And you go back and you get it, or if you get home and you didn't get it, you can get on your app and turn it off. And when you go back there the next day, you put your thumbprint on it, you enter the code in your cell phone, boom, your card's turned back on. Guys, this is 100% the way people are going to pay bills, and they're going to get direct deposits from their employer. They're going to be able to shop online. This is a revolutionary product, no doubt. Now, it comes out in January. Let me give you a little bit of a hint. When I said that my family plans on being paid thousands of times a day, you're looking at the vehicle by which I feel like that's going to happen. We'll talk more about that in just a second. This is literally the last card you'll ever need, right? So not only are we talking about the last network you'll ever need to build, we're talking about the last card you'll ever need. The card, because people are going to consolidate all their cards into this one, and I'm going to show you in a minute how they can save money when they use the Rev card. And then they're going to want to use it more because they're saving more money. And as they save more money every time they swipe it, what if you, your family, can make a little bit of what that bank charges with their merchant fees back to you because you introduced the person to the Rev card? Extremely exciting technology. And you're starting to see why this would be the last network you'd ever need to build, right? Because you don't have to rely on potions or pills or creams or anything like that to be sold. You're putting a card one time into somebody's hand. They're using that card to buy coffee, to take their spouse out to lunch, to pay for their car, to pay for a vacation. And every time they use it, I'm going to show you how you get paid and how the network builds. Now, here's a really interesting thing. This where we're going to see more in the coming months, but the Rev account is bank account. All right. Now let's talk about this for a second. As you read down through this slide, I want to share a couple of things with you. You see, as this network builds, as the network builds, the RNetwork builds, it becomes a powerful tool to use to negotiate for the company for on our behalf to negotiate deals all around the world. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Let's say that you've got a cupcake store, right? You've got a cupcake shop, and I come in to buy a cupcake from you, and you tell me that cupcake's $4, and I pay $4, right? I come back to you the next day and I say, oh my gosh, that cupcake was so good. I've got a classroom full of people. I've got 40 of us. We're going to come in there for like a little, trip or whatever. And will you give me instead of paying $4, budget's kind of tight. Can you give me the cupcakes for $3.75? And you as a business person might say, well, yeah, sure. 40 cupcakes, a guaranteed 40 cupcakes, $3.75 is better than a couple of cupcakes at $4, right? The leverage of my bringing my network, my class of people into your cupcake shop gave me the ability to negotiate a better deal. Now, imagine taking the RNetwork and partnering it with the bank, right? And the bank is going to be the same as any other bank. It's going to be accessed through an app, and you can have person-to-person transfer capability, all the banking services like checking and bill paying and debit card and loans and mortgages and all that stuff, right? So if we, the RNetwork, remember the power's in the network. If we, the RNetwork, go to the bank with thousands of global customers, do you think they're willing to literally or at least figuratively pay us for bringing them customers? Because understand, you see these big buildings, every town you go to, what's the biggest building in the city? Typically it's a bank, right? First National something. Well, they're huge because every time you use your debit or your credit card to do things like pay for loans and pay for mortgages and whatever you use your debit and credit card for, every time the merchant has to pay a transaction fee to the bank, and the bank keeps it. That's why they're so enormously profitable. Well, if we're going to bring them thousands of new customers, wouldn't it be logical for the bank to say, well, look, we're getting these merchant fees. If you bring us this many customers, we'll give you a little bit of that merchant fee back to you. So Scott, if you tell somebody about us and they come on and they put all their credit cards onto the Rev card and they start using the Rev card, we'll pay you a little bit of everything they spend on the Rev card. So Scott introduces it to Joe, and Joe gets it, and Joe spends money. Well, the bank says, hey, Scott, we wouldn't know about Joe were it not for you. So Joe just made his car payment. Here's a little piece of his car payment to you. Basically, guys, that's the power of what we're doing with the banking relationship. It is fascinating to watch. Now, I want you to understand something. Remember a minute ago I said the power's in the network. That is 100% the truth. Because right now we're all excited about the Rev card. I mean, how can you not be excited about the Rev card? But today you can get in and you can join your friend, whoever shared this with you. Today, you can get on and you can start saving money on travel. Last month, I traveled a good bit. I saved over $300 on traveling last month. Well, I didn't really spend any money on some other pieces of my membership. So this week, remember a few minutes ago, I told you I was going to save a couple $100 on food. Well, if you take last month's $300 on travel and this month's a couple $100 on food. Now, my wife and I both have an account, of course. So that enables us. So that's $500 of savings in 60 days. $500 of savings for me personally in the last 60 days. Now, let me ask you, if I'm going to spend $38 a month to be in this network, and I'm going to save hundreds of dollars in my case each month, why would I not do that? Right? So those are the network offers we have right now. So you're going to start seeing the Revolution product suite evolve over the next few months. Now is your chance to get in while the business is being organized. Now, the fun thing about this, guys, you can get involved and pay $38 a month and immediately start saving $50. Immediately. Like you can sign up at 2 o'clock and at 2:05 be ahead of the game. You tell me what business ever allows you to get in and be ahead immediately. Does it ever happen? Has it ever happened? That's just crazy. So right now we've already got offers sitting in our back office, like the going shopping and the eating and that kind of thing. And we've got our travel portal up. Well, My friend yesterday was sort of he got an early opportunity to use our auto sales program. Now, the auto sales program should only be interesting to you if you plan on buying a car in the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. But the auto sales guys, and now some of you might love going to an auto dealership and negotiating with them and having the salesman run down the parking lot chasing you with his tie flapping in the air. If that's your thing, more power to you. But for me personally, I'd rather sit on my computer, know I've got the best possible deal with my auto deal, work with a concierge, know I get a great price, do my financing, and then hear a rap on the door, walk over to the door a few days later, and a person drops the car keys in my hand. We have a concierge car service that works in that way. You can order it, you can get it, you got a great price, you work with a concierge, and they bring the car to you knowing that you've got the best price and the best financing. Now keep in mind, the relationship with the bank is going to let you do your financing through the bank. And if I brought you to this and you purchase a car, guys, get this, in January, let's say that I brought you into this program between now and January or after January, and you go out there and you buy a car and you use our program to buy a car, I'm going to show you in a minute that the fees that the merchant collects gets shared back into the network. And as I have thousands of people in my network and somebody buys a car down there, I'm going to get paid as they purchase a car. Just like I get paid when they buy a cup of coffee, and I get paid when they book a room at the Marriott, and I get paid when they book an airline, right? Now, also, guys, coming here in the next couple of months, you're going to start seeing gift cards. See there up the top right? Imagine a gift card for a second. You get onto our portal, and you order a $100 Amazon gift card, and you spend $80 for it, right? So you get $100 of value for an $80 purchase. Well, immediately, what have you done? Immediately, you just picked up 20 bucks, right? Something just came on my computer, moving off. Immediately, so imagine, guys, gift cards. You could be sitting in Thailand, you could be sitting in England, you could be sitting anywhere in the world. You order 4 or 5 Amazon gift cards. You're in my network, so when you order those cards, there's a merchant fee to the bank. The bank says, hey, Scott, thank you for introducing John in Spokane, who brought in Susan in London, who brought in, I don't know, somebody in Thailand or Taiwan, right? And they bought 5 Amazon gift cards. Because why wouldn't they buy $500 worth of Amazon gift cards for, say, $470? Because they can purchase things online or go shopping or whatever with them. So the gift card thing is a big, big deal, not just in the States, but globally right now. And the last thing I wanted to talk about on this page real quickly, and we'll move on, but I want you to start understanding the power of what the network is going to bring to us. There's a program called Teladoc. Some of you might be familiar with that. I could talk all day about that because that's my industry, is health insurance. But Teladoc, guys, is basically the ability for you on your cell phone to engage with a physician 24/7 at no cost to you. They can send a prescription to the local Walgreens or the local CVS. If they look in your throat, they know you got a red throat and your son has strep throat, they're going to send you in an antibiotic over to Walgreens, and you don't have to stand in line at the doctor's office or sit in the waiting room with a bunch of sick people and pay your copays. You can engage with a physician right there online. It's really interesting. So what happens each month? Well, each month you spend $38 to be in the network. Now, you can save money on cars, houses, food, shopping, and I know it's really, really small here. And I'm not sure if this screen has come up yet. You might be a little bit behind mine, but it might be really small. But you're going to see places like the Royal Caribbean and Arby's and Westin and Sheraton and Marriott and Hilton and Hampton and big names, guys. We have hundreds of thousands of merchants right now, hundreds of thousands of merchants around the world that have local offers and merchandise and sweet takes and magazine offers. So each month you spend $38 and you get 5,000 points. Now there's an ability to get more than that right now, but that's basically a $50 value. Now, I'm no math whiz, but if I'm going to spend $38 and immediately have the ability to save $50, am I ahead or am I behind? You get back to the person who shared this video with you today and you say, hey, well, of course I'm in this. How do I get started? And they're going to get you started at, say, 3 o'clock.
And at 3:05, you're on and you're shopping and you saved $50. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just spent $38 and I saved $50 like 10 minutes later. And then you start spreading the word. And then all of these other valuable components that we just talked about start coming up within the R network. And then the Rev card comes out in January and everything comes together perfectly. Guys, this is a fun place to be because there's no risk. There's no downside. You spend 38 and you're saving 50 a few minutes later. It's crazy. And so real quickly, the worldwide travel, guys, imagine travel with the lowest cost accommodations and meet interesting people and share travel experiences. This is the lowest cost guaranteed. So I will tell you that my family's already seeing a fun little income stream from this, and we're saving money from this. I anticipate 2020 is going to be an incredible year. And as 2020 starts happening and I start earning as people swiping, who knows what happens, but I plan on traveling and I plan on using our portal to travel cheaply. The car sales deal, this is what we just talked about a minute ago. I forgot these slides were coming up or I would have waited. But basically, you're able to get cars with a concierge service delivered to your front door at extreme discounts. Any kind of car you want, you just get in and pick it. And guys, this is global. You can be in Australia or you can be in Austin, Texas, and you can use the car program. It's the R car sales. This is the gift card program that I talked about a minute ago. Imagine buying Best Buy or Starbucks or Home Depot or Marshalls or whatever. You buy a $100 card at Amazon and it only costs you $85, or you buy a $50 card at Marshalls and it only costs you $45. If people are going to shop at these places anyway, why wouldn't they engage in the gift card program? And why wouldn't you get paid for having introduced your network of people to that shopping experience? It just makes sense, doesn't it? Here's a little bit about the teledoc. You can see how you can look at your doctor. He sees you or she sees you and vice versa. You can say, what's this rash in my arm or whatever, and they might send you to Walgreens to get a cream. So it's a lot better than going to the doctor's office. It's 24/7, 365 access with no out-of-pocket, no co-pays, no deductibles, none of that kind of thing you have to worry about. All right, so how do you get started on the money-making part? Because if guys, there is no downside. So let's say someone told me about this and I say, okay, I'm gonna sign up. So I get in and I pay $30 setup fee, and then I start paying my $38 a month. Now, immediately I start saving 50. Well, obviously, I like that. Now, here's an important part. I tell John and John tells Susan, and I start building my network. How many people, if they're spending 38 and they're saving 50 month after month, how many people are going away? Very few, right? I mean, very few people are going to leave what we're doing. So if we can start building and we can start helping other folks, the way this thing is set up is the retention is going to be incredible, because it's going to be banking anywhere and everywhere with a Rev card, and they're saving money. And guys, the retention is going to be off the charts. So here's how things work. You get involved. The first month is 68 because it's the 38 plus the 30. And then each month thereafter, you're spending 38 bucks. Now, then you start engaging with the 5,000 points thing I mentioned a minute ago, where there's $50 right there. And then remember a second ago, and I told you I saved money on the travel portal. Well, I went to Expedia and Orbitz and all those guys, and I compared those to the hotel that I needed in Cincinnati. Well, I was saving about 30 bucks a night for doing that. And I was out of town, 5 or 6 nights that week. And then I got rental car and all kinds of things. I saved several $100s last month. And then when the bank account starts coming and I start building my team and I start earning commissions on my team, let me just share with you that the $38 is the best ROI experience I've ever had in any business. So when I got involved, anytime I get involved with a business, I ask, okay, what do I need to do to be successful? And the person who brought me in said, well, Scott, you need to find 3 people in the world that want to save money. Oh, I need to find 3 people on planet Earth that want to save money. Yep, that's it. Okay, now those 3 people are going to immediately save more money than they spend. Yep. Okay, now when I get my 3 people, what happens? Well, they say, there's a new feature now. If they call it me and 3 guarantee, right? So once I get my 3 people, the company guarantees me I'm always going to be making more. As long as those 3 people stay in, I'm always going to be making more than I spend. Right there before I start saving money. And I get an extra bonus of 5,000 reward points per month. So if in your first month you can bring in 3 people. All right. So in your first 30 days, you bring in 3 people. Then you can save more than your $38 because you're getting 10,000. You're getting basically $100 of savings a month given to you, right? Because 5,000 reward points, and it's doubling because you did the me and 3 in your first month. So you're going to have 10,000 points given to you, which is basically $100 of savings. So your second month, you're thinking, what in the world? I'm earning a check more than I'm spending. And then I'm saving 3 times more than I'm spending. And I started my business last month. Guys, do you see how that's going to grow? Do you see how that's going to explode? Why would it not, right? How could it not? So you can come back here and read the fine print, the details, but I want to keep it moving because I want to try to keep this kind of short. So your key is to build your castle in 3s. You're going to come in, you're going to start saving more than you spend. So why wouldn't you tell your mother and your brother and your sister and your best friend? So you build your 3, right? In blocks of 3. Now here's the beauty. When I go out and sign up 3 people, it goes 1, 2, 3 across there, right? Now when I sign up my next person, it helps that 3rd person. My 4th person is going to go under my 3rd person over there to the right. And then my 5th person is going to go under my middle person. And then my 6th person is going to go back over there on the left. And then it's going to keep working back and forth like that. Now, it's real important, guys. I want you to get something. Let me go back up to this for a minute. That's going to keep building and keep building and keep building. Now, I'm going to show you in a minute how you can earn revenue on everything that everybody in this team spends. 3, you see how it's 3 wide, and it goes 10 levels deep. Now, guys, you're not going to believe me, but do 3 times 3 and hit that button, hit the equal button 10 times. You're going to see when you've hit it 10 times, you've got 59,000 possibilities on your 10th level. All right. So in other words, if everybody got 3, they found 3 people in the world that want to save money. By the time you get down to your 10th level, there's 59,000 people just on that 10th level. It's 88,000 people in the entire network that you built, right? Now, keep in mind here, you see the gold lady on the top. She is going to be bringing other people in. Well, when she's gotten her 3 and she keeps bringing people in, it gets forced down into the matrix someplace. Same thing with people above her. So you will have, if you go out there and work and get your 3 and get your 4 and try to get 6, we'll talk about more of that in just a second. But if you can build your team and rely on people around you building their team, it is very likely that you can see some staggering results. Here you can see, now look guys, this is just math, right? Do you know how much you'll make off of this if you sign up and you never do a thing? You'll probably get what you deserve, right? If you don't do anything personally. But I never really think about business that way. I think, okay, what do I need to do to maximize my potential? And I start looking at these kinds of things. Again, there's no guarantee that anything ever happens. Now, what I know with this business is I'm going to spend $38, and of course, I'm saving more than I spend immediately because I can sign up at, like I said, sign up at 2 o'clock. I'm ahead of the game at 2:02. So that is unusual. In fact, I'd say it's unique to this business only. Another thing that's unique is I'm not selling anything, right? So people are not going to come in and leave when the product doesn't work, so there's not a lot of attrition. So there are some unique things working for us that will allow us to hit some of the numbers that you see here. But imagine, guys, if you could get 88,000 people, right? That's 3 by 3 by 3 down 10 levels. So enrolling 10 people, you have fully unlocked all tiers. And here's what we mean by that. When I asked the question, what do I need to do to be successful? The person came back to me and said, okay, you need to bring in your 3 people. And then you're certainly not going to lose money. But then he said, you need to go out and bring in 10 people. And I said, okay, so I need to find 10 people in the world that want to save money. Yes, anywhere in the world, pretty much, right? So 10 in your team building structure. You're going to see a term TBS. That's your team building structure. So everybody else is trying to find 10 people in the world that want to save money, right? So as it builds, when you sign up 3 people personally, you get paid for anything that transpires on your 3rd level. When you signed up 6 people personally, if 7 or 8 or 9, whatever the number is, each time you bring in a new person that gets involved at the $38 level, you open up compensation on the next level down. So to fully maximize and get everything out of this business, you need to find 10 people, and it's called 10 in the pen, your personally enrolled network pen. personally enrolled network. When you get there, then you will have access to all 10 levels of compensation with everybody buying things in their structure. All right. So you can see it goes 27, 81, 243. You know, there's what I was talking about down 10 levels. It's a 3x10 EBS composed of 3 teams and 10 tiers. I wanted to explain it a little bit before we got here, but let me share with you. I'm gonna see what's yeah, actually this is a good slide. I want to share with you something here, because this, if it truly hits you, you're going to have trouble sleeping. All right. So I've signed up, let's say I'm at the top, I've signed up my 3 people, and then so on the next level there's 9 people, and the next level there's 27, and then 81, and so forth, right? Now 59,000 people, what's happening down there at the bottom? 59,000 people. Of course, I don't know those people, and they might be anywhere in the world, it doesn't matter. But I've gone out there and I've gotten my 10. So I've unlocked income potential all the way down. Now somebody, let's say they're on that bottom level. So one of those 59,000 people is sitting in Australia, and it gets involved with the car program, and they shop and they buy a Jeep in Australia. And they spend whatever, $8,000 on a Jeep in Australia. That $8,000 it flows through the matrix, it flows through the program. So I can earn money from somebody that I'll never meet, that's 10 levels down, that's sitting in Australia, that bought a Jeep. Now, let's say say another person on that 10 levels down, one of those 59,000 people, goes to Target in Des Moines, Iowa, and they spend $200 on back school supplies, and they're in my network. I'm going to make a little something on that person 10 levels down, one of those 59,000 people that went to Target and bought something, bought a cup of coffee or bought back to school supplies. So when I started this call a minute ago, I said that I anticipate that my family will be paid thousands of times a day. Let me ask you how reasonable that is. Right now, I've been building with my team since May 8th. So June, July, August, so 3 months, 90 days basically. So I've been building for about 90 days, and I've got about 1,000 folks that my wife and I have in our organizations together, about 1,000. So if the card came out today and those 1,000 people got their card, and those 1,000 people were out shopping for back to school supplies or purchasing cars or Amazon gift cards or all the things that we've spoken about here in the last few minutes, then when those thousands of people every single day engaged with their card and lived their life as they're normally living it, those 1,000 people, let's say that all 1,000 people use their card and they use it 3 times that day, right? So they bought gas and then they went to Target, normal stuff. Well, that means 3,000 times I earned a little something that day. So now we're in August. When the car program comes out and the card that you can, Amazon cards and the gift cards and all the things that, remember, this is an evolutionary process. They didn't want to come out with a card. They needed to build the network and then explode the card into the marketplace in January. I think it's safe to say that my 1,000 people now will be, let's just say 5,000 people in January. So 5,000 people get a Rev card, and 5,000 people use it at Target and Walmart and the gas station and the coffee shop, and they're paying their car payment with it, and they're getting an account at the bank, and they're getting their mortgage, and they're paying their mortgage payments. Is it reasonable to think if 5,000 people are engaging with their card every day and I'm making a little piece of that, it's very, very safe to say that my family is going to be deriving some kind of income thousands of times a day in 2020. Now you might say, well, Scott, I don't care about your family doing it. I want to know how my family does it. Well, the answer is get started now. Now. Don't wait till the card comes out. Had you rather wait till the card comes out and start then, or had you rather have 500 or 600 or 700 or 1,000 people or 10,000 people hitting the marketplace when the card comes out? So, because remember a minute ago we said 88,000 people, right, are in the matrix fully. Just them paying their $38 is $2 for every person in your TBS on each qualified tier, whether you enrolled them or not. Or do you get that? In other words, I get involved and I sign up somebody who ends up falling in under you, right? Because of the way the matrix works. Now that person is a stud, and she goes out and signs up 400 people. Guys, when those 400 people pay their $38, you get $2 if that person was in a qualified tier each month. That's before they start spending money on their card. Once the card is issued, you're also going to get commissions on everything they do. Yes, you heard that. I signed them up. They just fell into your organization. They go to Target to buy back to school supplies in next March, and you get paid because they've fallen into your organization. You're going to see your tiers build out as our back office gets more and more robust. You're going to see that. Now, right now, we all have replicated back offices, and yesterday we were all able to get in there, and we have been getting checks like clockwork every Monday because everybody in my organization, I've been getting a couple of bucks each month, right, as they've been paying their 38. That's nickels, right? But it's been fun. I mean, it's been a pretty significant little bump. Well, now we get paid with electronic deposit. You can access that through your back office. Guys, there's a support system in this company like I've never seen. Whether it's a John Johnson and his group, or Cindy, or Don Campbell, or our world that we have, which is an incredible Facebook community. We have Rise Up, which is training. If you get involved and you want to grow your business, but you're not exactly sure how to do it, Dave Dove and some incredible people do some training constantly in our Rise Up. We have our RNetwork corporate site, which constantly is giving updates, and Richard will get on and do little videos. If you want to be successful and you can find 7 or 8, 10 people somewhere in the world to save money, you are in the right place at the right time. So the little time down there, January 6, 2020, January 6th of 2020 is when the Rev card comes out. That's just one of our products in a suite of things that are important with the network. It's just one thing, but it is one of the things that everybody is so excited about because people are going to use that Rev card to save money. Then they're going to, when they start saving money, they're going to start telling other people. When they start telling other people, it builds your network. Guys, you are literally, not figuratively, you are literally creating your own economy. Right? Because if you can bring in 4,000 people and those 4,000 people are spending money and commissions are being earned, and when commissions are being earned, the bank's happy, and when the bank's happy, they're sharing more merchant fees and we're getting better discounts. You're creating your own economy that just swirls back and feeds itself over and over. So you're going to be able to manage all this in your back office on your cell phone. Look how sharp that looks. That's a picture of where things are evolving to. So guys, look, I just want to thank you for being here. This was the first time that I've done this presentation with a slide deck online like this. Probably going to take me a minute to unravel it because I don't know how to get out. But I just want to tell you, hey, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to share this video. I tried to move as quickly as I could, but these slides are so exciting. If there's interest here, I'll probably do this again tomorrow afternoon. And if you guys feel like going through this slide deck is something that helps you grow your business, I would do it several other times this week for you. I never ask anybody to join me personally. I'm really just sort of doing this to build the network because I understand what the network is all about. It's about building a network of millions. At some point, millions of people around the world. And as millions of people are in this network, sure, it'll help me and the other people that got in early like you. But also, as we build a network of millions, it's going to give us more gravitas and more leverage in the marketplace to do incredible things with even more programs. You know, the Rev card, as exciting as it is next year's technology. Well, when the next year's technology comes out and you've already got 10,000 people in your network that are used to purchasing through the network, when the new thing comes out, those 10,000 people are going to purchase the new thing, right? So the power's in the network. It's not in the product. So I understand that we want to build our network as large and as broad and as powerful as we can because it's going to help us all as we navigate into the future with the RNetwork. So guys, thank you for being here. I'm going to wrap up. I don't know exactly how to wrap up, but I'm going to try to get out of here. I'm done for today. I'll be back. Let's just say that 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon Central Time, I'll be back here. 3 o'clock tomorrow, Sunday afternoon Central Time. I'll be back here. If that changes, look for announcements on my wall, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.